Zinaida Baranova is a Russian woman. She has not eaten anything or drunk anything for more than 7 years. I drink. She doesn't. Let me tell you her story. I had 22 years of training and preparation. She had none but one thing. When I met her many years later, she was nearly 70 years old, about 70. But when she was 45 years old, her son was killed in a car accident, and her heart broke. She didn't know what to do. The pain was just unbearable. She had always loved Jesus. She was a Christian in Russia, and she had always prayed. When her son died, she prayed more, and she prayed and she prayed, and she entered into a period of over 20 years of prayer, sincere, heartfelt prayer, constantly talking to the Christed energy. The word Christ just means pure cosmic love. When we talk about the return of the Buddha Maitreya, it's the return of the Christed energy. It's the same, pure cosmic love that we also can meditate on. So Zinaida said after 20 years of prayer, she's sitting in meditation, and the Christed One appeared in her meditation and said, "Now that you have loved me for so long, let me nourish you." And she said, okay. She said she just assumed, she'd never heard of me, never heard of breatharianism, never heard of this in practice in India. She just assumed the Christ was telling her to stop taking physical food. Now, a woman of incredible faith, she just said, okay. The next day, she stopped eating. No problem. So much love, so much devotion. Here. A month later, this energy came in meditation and said to her, "Now let me give you the waters of my life." And she immediately assumed, stop drinking. So she did, just like that. What faith? She said the next day, 2 days later, 3 days later, her body started to complain. Kidneys, parts of her body, because it wasn't getting the normal fluid intake. She did this. She sat herself down in meditation, and she did what was recommended in the early meditation. She sat and she went in and began to talk to every organ of her body. She went in and talked to the brain. She talked to every part of herself with great love, and she said, "From this moment on, I want you to know that you are being fed and given fluid by the light of the Christ. This Christ energy that I love so much, can't you feel my love? This energy is giving me all my nourishment. This energy is giving us all our fluid. Please open to that, accept that, trust that." And the body went, "Oh, okay." Nothing was a problem from that moment on. Last year I interviewed her. We were doing some work with Russian TV, and I wanted to ask questions from things I knew of her, because I drink. 1 month after I stopped eating, same message, Jasmuheen, time to stop drinking. You know what I said? No. Why? We have free will. I didn't want to. Just because you get an inner message doesn't mean you have to follow it. You know, I wasn't ready. Okay, for various reasons. It's not what I wanted to do. But Zinaida, different, she did. So we were talking to her, and this is a question people often ask, what about elimination? I know we're in India and you're too polite probably to ask this. So I said this to Zinaida, people always ask me. And I thought, well, you know, you're never eating, you're never drinking, what about elimination? And she said to me, she still excretes feces. I said, but it's been 7 years. It didn't make sense to me. And then I realized she'd had no physical body preparation, okay? With me and many others, we have cleansed the colon before this. We've had colonic irrigations. You know, if you eat meat and we have a large digestive tract. We are vegetarian naturally, not meat eaters. That meat can stay trapped in the digestive canal for up to 20 years putrefying, okay? So it can take 20 years to eliminate the remnants of an old diet if you don't speed up the process through colon cleansing. So that is why Zinaida still takes elimination. So I said to her, why don't you go and have some colonic irrigations and then you won't need to excrete anymore? And she thought that was a great idea. She'd never heard of these things. She was a beautiful, and is a beautiful, simple woman. Let me explain more about this process to answer your questions. Zinaida is a great example. Zinaida is this high, okay? When she started to live on Prana and received this message, she's like this. Nearly square, okay? 92 kilograms, very short. When she was living on Prana, when she began her journey, over the next few months, she lost 20 kilograms. Remember, she was not programming, not doing the things we're going to teach you today. She just lost weight, lost weight, lost weight. She was very happy because she wanted to be thinner, okay? She settled eventually at 72 kilograms. Very happy. Nice new body, you know. Sweet, sweet woman. When I met her, she was 72 kilos because I took up the invitation by the man in Poland and I went to Russia and investigated her and talked to her. That's also what I do. Find other people who do this and present their methods to the world. And when I first met her, 72 kilos. The next time I came into Russia, she'd put on 10 kilograms. She said to me, "This is crazy. I'm not eating, I'm not drinking, I'm getting fatter again. I've put on 10 kilograms. Thought, okay, well, you know, you're carrying a lot of love energy. You can do that sometimes. Next time I came into Russia and I saw her 2 years later, she said, in the last time since I've seen you, I've put on another 10 kilograms. She said, I'm 92 kilograms. I have the videos of my interview with her on YouTube, and people keep commenting, you can't be fat and be a breatharian. Really? Why not? Why not? What is food, if not love? You take the research programs, 2 groups of premature babies in a hospital. One group given a lot of cuddles and love, and the other group not given that. Research shows same food, but one with more cuddles, this group get fatter quicker. Interesting. So you're saying to me, people say to me, why don't you lose weight? How come you haven't lost weight? Again, it goes back to commitment. Mind mastery. When I first started living on Prana, this is how I worked with weight. It's a very limited way of working. I thought about my life, and I thought about the skinniest I had ever been. The skinniest I had ever been was 47 kilos. I looked like I'd just come out of a Biafran war camp. I decided I did not want to be 47 kilos with living on light. I decided I would not go below 48 kilos. Yeah? What happened? I went to 48 kilos. Why? Because I expected it. Was that limiting? Totally. Okay? I went from 52 kilos before living on Prana to 48 kilos. When people saw me, they went, you need a good meal. Not a good advertisement, very thin. For me, I'm quite tall, relatively tall. Every time I would travel, this is interesting for you to be aware of energy field influences. Every time I would travel dealing with the global media, I would enter into a very negative energy field, I would lose weight. Every time I traveled, I would lose 1, 2 to 3 kilograms because I was absorbing energy. One of the secrets to this, never absorb energy. What do we mean? Here you have a group of meditators. What happens when you practice meditation, a refined diet, service, prayer? Maybe in India it's different. In the West, this is what happens, and this is what happened to me. You are doing these things and you become sensitive. When I was meditating and someone would sneeze across a room, it was like a dagger of energy into my body, because you become that sensitive to energy currents. So when I was asked to go on the road by the holy ones and share of this, I thought, no way, I can't do it. What I see people do is this: oh, I'm meditating and living a very good life, and I eat very good food, and I'm becoming so sensitive. And I'm so sensitive that I cannot live in the city because the city is so crazy. I cannot be in the city because there's so much pollution. I cannot spend time with many people in my family because they are so negative and they do not understand me. I cannot. What are we doing? Creating separation. In true mastery, you can be anywhere in any situation and be in harmony with all. That's the test of our mastery. So show me the difference. I'll show you the difference. Oh, I'm sensitive, I can't because I'm so sensitive. Yeah, that was me. Or I am plugged into a never-ending source of pure love, divine wisdom and power. As I move through this world, it moves through me, it nourishes me, it flows out into the world and transforms this world. Oh, no, I can't. Absorbing or radiating. So there's a big difference. With living purely on prana, you need to change your mindset. You do not absorb energy from this world. You radiate energy through you into this world. Do you see the difference? Big difference. Yeah. With Zinaida, what we did was we read her body energy field, and what I realized was she was attracting so much cosmic love energy and she wasn't giving it out. So she was invited to do service, to travel and share her story. And as she began to serve and not just store that love energy, but to let it out, her weight began to drop again.